Welcome, faraway friends, curiosity seekers, and connoisseurs of games the realms over. 'Tis I, Angel, GM for Darkeport. So, I'm playing hooky right now because I should be getting ready for the season finale stream tonight. Going to be kind of a big deal. Lots of moving pieces. Really excited about it. But, little thing called Daggerheart has been on my mind. A new table, well, not a new physical table, but entirely new cast of characters, players, all of that. We had our session 0 on Sunday. We filmed it. Still TBD on the release schedule on that, although I have a sneaking suspicion that we will do everything in our power to keep Tuesday nights a thing. I have some other ideas there as well. But I kind of just wanted to get out of my head and out there what and I'll frame this as hopes and fears, because they have the whole hope and fear duality dice system going on with hope points and fear points. What they were for me and what I was thinking about on first blush. I'm kind of, I don't know, maybe this is overly self-indulgent, but I'm kind of morbidly curious about how close my predictions and prognostications are going to be compared to the reality of running Daggerheart, because no plan survives contact with the enemy, as they say. So my fears, and again, maybe overly optimistic in this case, but I only had two main ones, and the first was playing the game, not just playing the game as intended, but specifically using the rules the way that in the spirit of the game and in the spirit of how Critical Role Darrington Press, created them. And what I mean by that is I've played a lot of games at this point, y'all. I've run, I'm almost always the GM in the games, and I've been running stuff since '84. So, and I at one point I think I honestly had GM'd almost every game that was available in like the mid '80s. So that that is to say, I have a lot of opinions about rules. I have a lot of different data points on rules, what works, what doesn't, what feels good in different situations. And so I kind of have a tendency when I don't know the rules, or even I just don't care, like I'm kind of cavalier about rule systems. I'm pretty agnostic about rule systems. So like perfect example of this is 5th edition Dungeons and Dragons doesn't really have a first aid situation going on. And so I just kind of shamelessly yoinked Call of Cthulhu's first aid and then modified it a bit, but it felt good. I liked it. I want medicine to have an impact. I want to be able to show that characters are skilled healers. The players also need a mechanical way to get hit points back, since I'm super strict about healing and all of that. War story, yada yada yada, and so I just grabbed that mechanic almost wholesale. I'm gonna try not to do that with Daggerheart. I'm gonna try, and this is like going against the reason it's a fear is anytime that you go against the grain of like this just very deeply worn groove and GMing instinct, it's hard. So I'm like, I have to really think that through, and I think I can do it. I think I can, keep my hand, off the old rule system, eclectic rule system, off that button and out of the cookie jar, but we'll see. The second one, what was it? Okay, squirrel. Well, maybe it'll come back to me. I guess I'm just champing at the bit to go on to hopes. The fear was, you never know with the new world. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Lands with some people, not with others. I tried to make the mechanics of Daggerheart make sense to me as far as this rule setting, this campaign setting. Freudian slip there. Campaign setting as much as I could, and that there's always a risk in that. So we'll see. We'll see if people like the world, the whole kind of somewhat pseudo, and Melissa even called this in session 0 as like a quasi post-apocalyptic world, but it doesn't have any of the feel that you're used to from a apocalyptic setting. So I have not done that before. I have not actually ever run exactly this kind of campaign setting. Themes are going to be exploration and free will. So at least for the campaign themes, and then the players are cooking up their own themes. Really looking forward to that. So I guess I'll start there with the hopes that I'm really looking forward to seeing how the themes play out, how this intermingling. This is that's not true. Second time. This is only the second time that I've, like, every single character I've explicitly asked, what themes do you want to explore? Although, actually, no, because the character of Titus's themes were already set before Donnie got a hold of them, more or less. He added to them. But, so, yeah, actually, this is the very first campaign where everything is, that's up to the players. It's in the spirit of Daggerheart. I'm going to be, changing the setting, even down to probably some of the encounters to reflect what themes the players want to explore and what they want to develop their characters and how they want to be challenged and all of that. I have ideas, I have defaults if we're not sure, but it's just, and that is getting to my second hope. We've been doing something for a long time. It's always exciting, or it should be exciting, to be doing something new and fresh with it. So I love my go-tos. There's a comfort, old friends of how to tell stories and all of that. But I'm kind of fascinated about this. I guess it would be a more modern approach as to what it looks like when you just really open the seams. I tend to be pretty meticulous about the level of detail that I inject into the campaign worlds. I know the GDP of Germentum. I have the names of literally every single person in leadership, character sheet for them, backstory for them, even though 3/4 of them are probably going to be dead pretty soon, or already are. Spoiler, I guess. But it's of the NPCs, not the PCs. I will do a video on character death and concept of. To me, it's party wipes is the old school way of saying it, but total TPKs, total party kills. But I meant NPCs there. Anyway, so this foray into Daggerheart is really different. I mean, like, you'll see in session 0, I'm literally just like, okay, what do you think about this idea? And then we're riffing off of each other and building the world in real time. And you come up with some really different results, and the world already feels quite different from how I would have built it if it was just me with those, central themes of exploration and free will. And I love that. I want to see what happens. Really excited to see this this version of combat. I won't say I've never had combat without initiative, but there's always been some kind of guardrails and guidelines, and Daggerheart does have them, especially with the optional rule that they put in with the 3 action tokens. I'm going to assume if you've seen this, you haven't necessarily seen plumb the rule book, so I won't go off on the rule book, but or any minutia therein. But having this approach where it's much more narrative driven, I would say this rule system is rules medium. Some people say it's rules light. I don't know about that, but it's not heavy for sure. But yeah, seeing what that balance feels like and how that plays out, and I think it's going to work. I think it's going to be really interesting, particularly with these players. These players are all, story-driven, narrative-focused players. Caitlin is a very good tactician when she needs to be. I can tell you that from the home game, like razor sharp. But she's one of the new players. Or everything old is new again here. New to the larger Darkeport audience, old hat for the home game. But everyone there is really looking to dive into their characters. So I want to see how that is when you have an entire table that's aligned that way. That's unusual, because usually you have a mix and match of socializers and explorers and old phrase was combat wombat, but or if you're playing Vampire the Masquerade, it was a Warrior because the clan was Toreador. But anyway, You get what I'm saying. So those are just some thoughts I had off the top of my head. Hopefully this wasn't too rambly, but I want to get it out there and, for on the record, and then come back to this after maybe we've gone through our first little adventure and scene. Going at my stately pace, it's probably going to be about 3 sessions because there's a lot of other stuff I want to add. I think I'm constitutionally capable as a GM of just doing bare bones. It just has no appeal to me. So yeah, but we'll get through it, and we'll see. All right, thanks so much for stopping by, and I hope to see you tonight on stream for the first table. Take care as you're out there on your journey, and stay curious and have some fun.